access the previous recording, all right? I did update in Google Classroom, but let's say if you cannot access, then you just have to alert me so that I'm aware, right? Because most of the lectures that we had, I tried to record them and upload it in the platform so that for those who miss out, due to internet issue, can probably watch when their net is much better. Okay, so let's go back and talk about the format of MUET. All right, if you remember, you have this one session where you would be asked to interact with one another. They would probably throw you a question like, exercise is very important for a healthy lifestyle. Discuss. Okay, that's it. It could be a hanging question, but they expect you to interact with one another. There would probably be 4 members in your team, and you have to interact with each and every member to score your ranking, right, for the group discussion. So that is one platform of it, all right? And sometimes, even if you are an active member of the faculty, all right, you would probably be involved with other forms of discussion that requires you to interact and communicate with the rest of the team. You see, for a group discussion to work or for it to be a successful um, product, all right, or a successful outcome, each and every member have to play their role. And there is no such thing as one person is better off than the other, because group discussion, you may have a moderator, okay, but each and everyone will have to play their distinguished role, all right? Okay, so let's see if you are given a topic, all right, and assuming that you are about to begin the discussion, all right, try to always start, or try to always put up a statement or a question that everybody would understand, all right? Yes, this is a problem, okay, because sometimes when you are in a group discussion, you get so excited, you get so over enthusiastic. Sometimes we tend to throw in questions that only we can understand, or something that we have in our mind, and we probably have the answer, running in our mind, and then we expect people to, understand what we're trying to say. So this is something that we want to avoid. Remember, only you can know what is running in your thoughts of mind. The rest of the team, they may not know, and it would be unfair for us to throw something that would actually create a panic among the rest of the team. So we want to begin with a question or a statement that everybody would understand. So try with a very general question. For example, let's talk about healthy lifestyle, right? So you could start with a question like, what do you think of healthy diet among or how do you think is the choice of healthy diet menu among children nowadays? All right, something that people would be able to talk. All right, something that people would understand, rather than questions that are probably very vague, like I think having avocados is a must for healthy diet. And then you are like, what's an avocado, and then probably someone doesn't know what's an avocado, and they're like, oh, okay, what's an avocado? So you're trying to scope down the particular discussion to something that only you are familiar of. All right, so we try not to start a discussion with that kind of statement, because that's gonna confuse people. All right, and that would also shut some people off from interacting with you. Okay, so you must also allow, all right, participation from everyone. Okay, some people, they speak and they react in a different way. So you are supposed to allow each and every member of the discussion team to contribute their idea, and try to prevent domination in the team. Okay, you may realize, and you may have come across this kind of situation, probably even in your MUET examination, right? Because everybody wants to score that rank, everybody wants to do well, and then they try to dominate the conversation. But if everybody wants to do it, then it's fine. But let's say if you realize that 1 or 2 speakers in the team, they are particularly very shy, or I would put them as an introvert, so, and you are dominating the conversation, so that doesn't really that doesn't really lead to a healthy discussion because you're trying to shut them down. So remember, in your team, you could have people who are extrovert, introvert, and sometimes people who are very loud. So whatever is it, you are supposed to respect each and every member of the team, okay, and try not to dominate the conversation. That means, let's say another person throws an idea and you don't agree with an idea, you don't throw statements like, I think that is a ridiculous idea. We don't do that kind of, we don't do that kind of, call that remarks, because that is considered inappropriate and rude in a group discussion. Okay, so we also want people to finish what they are saying, all right, what they want to say, what they want to convey, rather than interrupting them in the middle because you have something more urgent to say. Always remember, every particular idea that is being shared by the members of the team is a valuable idea. So even if it's a very urgent or pressing matter, and you feel that if you don't mention it at the moment, you might forego. All right. So try to write it down, okay, and then speak about it. All right, when it's your turn. Or let's say if you have to interrupt, really, because you feel that that is something that you want to explain as well. So you have to apologize first before you interrupt. Okay, remember, it's not your time to speak, but let's say if you really have to do, then you can do it. So, okay, just say, I'm really sorry to interrupt you, or I know it is extremely rude to interrupt, but can you please just let me add on to what you have just said? Okay, all right, but of course you have to wait for their permission to allow you to finish whatever you want to say. All right, but let's say if the speaker says, sure, but just give me a second, I just want to finish up what I say, what I'm explaining, then you just have to wait. Okay, so try to listen. Okay, have an active listening thought when you are in a group discussion. You see, people tell me things like, Madam, it's so easy to do group discussion. I really love group discussion. I would say really, because I think that's a very tricky statement. For me, group discussion can be really tiring because I need to be active and alert throughout. Remember, there are two types of listening. One is called passive listening, where probably you are in a mode of, you're very relaxed mode because you don't have to respond to that. For example, if you're listening to a song, okay, most likely you're doing it in a passive mode. All right. Okay, so that is something that you want to take note of. All right. So when we talk about passive mode, we only use that when we are in a situation, okay, where we are probably put in a place where you don't have to respond. Sometimes, let's say you are watching a movie, you might also go into a passive mode. And let's say your mother is lecturing you, okay, or scolding you, and you don't really want to be bothered, you might also go into a passive mode. Okay, whereas an active mode means you are actively engaging and listening to them in a focused manner, and you're ready to respond when you are asked to do so. Okay, so that is something that you want to practice when you are in a group discussion. Okay, and you want to paraphrase and summarize what they have spoken in the discussion or what they have presented for you to understand what they are really explaining or detailing in the discussion itself. All right, you can always ask for opinions, all right, feedbacks, okay, and you can also provide feedback during discussion. Okay, and encourage different variants of idea. That means, right, let's say if somebody throws a suggestion, you don't all agree to that particular suggestion. Instead, try to talk about it from the devil's advocate role, okay, in terms of, how is this even feasible? Try to look at it in different angle. That means you have to agree and disagree in the team so that the particular discussion will be rich. Okay, so that is something that you want to take note as well. Be specific and use examples whenever it is possible, because sometimes rather than you throwing facts, rather than you throwing examples as an explanation, examples works better. Okay, people tend to visualize, or probably place certain image in their mind when you are talking, and that would actually help them understand a particular concept. Let's say you want to talk about probably corruption. Okay, let's talk about corruption. And you are saying that corruption is so bad, it spoils the whole leadership skill, or it boggles down or boils down the whole company. Well, for that, you can probably use examples like, let's say you have a vase, okay, a vase full of milk, and then there's this one little, dirt, or one little thing that actually fell into the vase of milk. So what happens? Nobody else actually gets to drink the milk because it's contaminated. So what I'm trying to say here is that corruption is the same. Even if one or two members of the company or the particular leadership team takes up the act of corruption, the whole company is tainted. The whole leadership skill is tainted. Nobody will actually trust you. So this is something that you can actually take up. That means you try to provide examples or certain analogies in your discussion to make things much clearer for the person who's listening to you. Okay, and always make sure that you are focused on the topic. You see, you don't have the whole day to speak about the topic. So try to stay focused. You can have humor or certain we would call that certain tweezers, all right, in your discussion, but you don't overdo it, all right. You don't go overboard trying to deviate the topic, all right. At the end of the day, our main goal of the discussion is that to understand what is the topic, to have done enough of explanation pertaining to the topic before we come to a conclusion. All right. Okay. So this is the tips and tricks that I wanted to share with you guys. Okay. So I'm about to share another piece of um, document with you. All right. So these are some of the turn-taking phrases, okay, or prompts, I call them, which would be useful for you when you are in your group discussion. Okay. So, but before that, let's just take 1 minute off. All right. Just take 1 minute off, all right, to just refresh your mind and so on before I start explaining to you about the prompts. Okay. Do you have any questions that you want to ask me before I start explaining about the turn taking? Anyone?
No, Linda.
No, okay, that's great. Okay, all right, take about 1 minute, all right, just to refresh your mind, all right, and then I will explain to you about the turn taking process, yeah? Okay, welcome back. All right, so now I'm going to explain to you about the prompts or the phrases that would be particularly useful for you when you are going to start a group discussion. All right, so remember the group discussion, there are a few parts, okay? The first part is you want to add on to their information, okay? The second part is that you want to probably interrupt, okay? And then the third part is that you probably want to, want to point out your view, okay, upon getting a feedback or probably after getting an interruption, okay? So these are the three genres or three, approaches when we are dealing with turn taking and then, the idea of managing a discussion itself. So, the phrases that I'm going to share with you, they are not rigid, okay, they're flexible, which means that you can interchange the words or, vocab, all right, words or vocab is the same thing, or the flow of the usage of it, okay? So, let's look at the first one. I understand what you are saying. Okay, so this one you can use, okay, when you want to point out a disagreement, okay? When you want to point out a disagreement, you can use this phrase, okay? I understand what you're saying. However, I believe so on, all right? Or you can even say, that's very interesting, but have you considered? That means you want to point out your disagreement as well, or probably put up a question, okay? And you can even use words like, my viewpoint differs to what you have shared, okay? And this one, the fourth one, you can say, would you like to develop that point? That means, let's say if you see a particular member, okay, in your group, okay, and that person is very quiet, okay, or probably a bit confused and lost in the discussion. So you want to prompt that person to speak. You can say, Aisha, would you like to develop that point? Okay, so you give them an opportunity to speak, all right? And you can even use words like, it's one way of looking at it. However, you express your disagreement, okay? And let's say if you agree to them, you would say, excellent point, I can't agree more, all right? And then let's say if you have a disagreement as well and you don't know how to begin, you can always say clearly, we have a lot of different views here, but we all can come to a conclusion or um, a proper a verdict of this particular topic, all right? So this one you can probably use when you want to end the particular discussion, all right? Okay, name, they means the person, okay? What do you think? Right, again, you want to respond to them because they are probably, shut off during the discussion, so you can tap on them by addressing them, okay? And then next one, can you repeat that for me? Probably you just couldn't understand, right, what they were talking. As I said, right, some people, they tend to talk as if it's they're in their own world. They assume that they are the only speaker and listener in the whole group. Okay, so if you happen to have that kind of member, you can always use the word like, I'm sorry, I didn't quite get you. Can you please repeat that for me? Okay, all right. So that's one way. All right, another one more. I agree with Alia, but I also think, all right, you disagree. That means you agree to a certain extent, but you also feel that there are other issues that could have been addressed in the topic. All right? Okay, so let's say you want to further add on to a person's idea. Okay, can I take your point, Alia? I would like to touch a little bit further into what you have said. Okay, you agree, but you just want to add on. All right, the same thing here. I would like to add on to what Alia has just said. All right, so let's say if you agree, you say exactly, I totally agree with what you have said, and so on. All right, and the next one, I firmly disagree with what you have presented because I think that it's not a valid idea in the topic, all right, or in our discussion today. So this one you can even say I firmly agree with you as well. Okay, it's interchangeable. Okay, so this one you are trying to prompt people to talk. But what would you do if you were in the situation? Okay, so this is to get the discussion going. You're like throwing brownies in there, and then you expect people to to use them and speak them to get the conversation going. All right. You can even use like well said to agree to an idea. Okay, or you can even use word like I would like to disagree with what you have said earlier. You can even say I would like to agree with what you have said earlier or with your earlier point because, okay, so you can either agree or disagree and then you provide your explanation. Okay, and I'd like to go back to what you said earlier because probably because you want to either explain or probably because you want to disagree. It is usable for both. Okay, and can we make a decision on this? Or you can even say, can we conclude our discussion? Or can we all agree to the idea of whatever is it? Okay. All right. So those three phrases, I underline them in green because these are interrupting phrases. Okay. Let's say somebody is talking, and you want to interrupt them because you feel that you have to mention these ideas because they are pressing ideas and there are urgent ideas. So you can use words like may I, okay, or another word is before I touch on those ideas, allow me to please just explain further on what you have said. Or you can even say I hate to interrupt you, or I apologize to interrupt you. I'm sorry if I was rude, but please let me, okay? Or you can even say if you don't mind me interrupting, sorry for not letting you finish, but please, okay? Or you can even say before you move on, can I just add on to what you have, what you have shared? So these statements, you can use them when you want to interrupt them, all right? Okay. So other phrases that you can also use, okay, to respond to your ideas would be like, I have just one more point to make. Okay, you probably want to say, but if I can just finish what I wanted to say. All right, let's say if somebody interrupted you, okay, and then after they have spoken, it's coming back to you to wrap up your idea. You can use this. If I can just finish what I wanted to say, then you talk about what you really wanted to say. All right, I have just one more point or idea to explain. Okay, or you can even say, if I can just finish this one point, I believe that so and so and so. And then let's say if somebody interrupted you, and then you have to continue again, and then you are like lost. Where were you, right? You can always say, oh, where was I think this is the idea that I wanted to talk about. Okay, so these are the common turn taking prompts or phrases, okay, that would be useful for you when you are going to deal with your discussion later on. So how is this going to helpful, or how is this going to be a help when you're going to do your vlog later, right? So I understand vlog is going to be a video recording, okay, of you talking about a particular topic or idea. But remember, it is an overall. It is supposed to be a cohesive, video. Okay, which means that let's say you received a topic about let's say you received a topic on healthy lifestyle, just a very simple topic, all right? But I don't think so I'll be giving such a simple topic, all right? And then you have this one person to talk about exercise, and then one person talk about the diet, and then one person talk about probably the mindfulness, or the spiritual, and then the mindfulness of your mental health, okay? And then the last person probably could talk about um, um, finance, okay, how finance actually affects our health, and so forth. So among these four members of you, when you are coming up with your vlog, all right, you can agree to another friend's idea, okay? You can agree to another friend's idea, or you can disagree to them, and then you start talking about your main argument, okay? So remember, your whole vlog has to be cohesive. You're supposed to be connected to one person to another person. So how you want to do it, it's up to you. Let's say if you want to have all of them in one frame, and then you guys are talking about that particular issue, it's also up to you. or probably you want to do one person at one frame and then you guys combine them into one block. It's also up to you. All right, so that depends on your creativity. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of activity today. Okay, but before that, do you have any questions? No.
No, madam.
Okay, so this is what you're going to do. I believe that you have already updated your names according to your blog, remember? So you are going to select one member, all right, from each of your team to join the activity later on. But now for the first part, all right, this is the topic you are going to discuss. How the internet influences our health, all right? I will give you 15 minutes, all right, for you to have a discussion among your teammates, okay, among your vlog, right? Remember your vlog group, okay? You meet up with your vlog group, how you want to do it, through WhatsApp, or you want to do a different video conferencing call. It's up to you, okay? You just discussed on this topic, all right? And after 15 minutes, all right, each one representative from each vlog group, okay, will come forward, and then you will actually be hosting the discussion itself. Let's say if you're going to have 8 or 9 members, so the 8 or 9 members, they are going to talk about the topic. All right, so you have to agree and disagree to one another based on what you have what you have spoken with your team. Okay, and what happens to the rest of the members of the class, we will watch them having this discussion. All right, so you would probably have a discussion for about 15 minutes as well. All right, 15 minutes is for you to discuss with your teammates, and then 15 minutes of a online group discussion that we will do it here. Okay, so the rest of us, we are supposed to watch them have this discussion, and then after they are done, we are going to give them a feedback. All right, so you, the friends, you guys are going to give the feedback, and then only, and at the end, only then I will address. Okay, so you can evaluate them based on the ideas they spoke, all right, or based on how they present their skills, okay, and even probably how they use the turn taking, and the disagreeing strategies and agreeing strategies and so forth, and how they manage the discussion itself. All right, so when we are going to meet later, after 15 minutes, okay, you are supposed to turn on your video cam. All right, so do you have any questions?
Clear, madam.
Okay, great. So I will mute and off my video for the 15 minutes. It is 12:20 now. Okay, we will meet again at 12:35. Okay, with the members from each team. Yeah. Okay, I hope so. All right, so we will meet again in 15 minutes time, where you will be hosting the discussion on how the internet influences our health. Okay.
It's clear, right?
Yes, we can hear you,
All
Alif.
Try. Yes, madam. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good.
Hi.
Okay, Natasha?
I'm Natasha. Can you hear me?
Yes, good. Clear? Okay, Asma?
I'm Asma. Can
Okay.
everyone hear me?
Yes, we all can hear you. Okay, so group 2, group 3, and group 6, you have not given me a representative. You will have to answer me later. All right, so the rest, okay, the rest of us, please mute your microphone, okay? We will leave for the representative to discuss on the topic on internet. There you go. All right, how the internet influences our health, okay? So remember, you have 15 minutes, okay, 10 to 15 minutes to conduct the discussion, okay? So you can throw in the idea, you can ask questions among the panels and so on, yeah? So those who are going to talk now, you may want to turn on your video cam, because just to make sure that everybody knows who's talking. All right? So, okay. Anytime when you're ready.
So I start first, madam. Okay. Okay. So how the internet can influence our health? So from my opinion, well, I don't deny that internet can give good, positive and negative sides. But however, for the internet to give such effect for health is more to negative sides, because by internet, what we can see from the negative side is it will affect our psycho mentally, because from psychomentally, people nowadays seems to see internet as something as useful. So for their mind, so they said in their mind that internet could make addiction and make people lazy. So they think it's easier to do this, easier to do that. So nowadays the kind of index of internet users in Malaysia only highly increases, and due to that, people nowadays seems like drew down that internet is much more, how to say, like laser, or make people think that going outside is useless. That's from me.
I would like to add on what my friend said, Easy Rahir. So I think what Easy would like to say, it affect our mental health somehow. So with our mental health, first of all, I think it will give us stress and also antisocial disorder, because first I would like to discuss on our the antisocial disorder, because the excessive use of the internet, you will be facing the laptop, you will only have your screen in front of you and lack of interact with society, so that will lead you to be an antisocial disorder. Okay, next, it could lead you could have stress, because when you overly use the internet, and if you don't use it wisely, you probably will it affect your daily routine, um, and also you probably it gives a distraction to what you need to do. uh, Instead of what you need to do, you use it to another thing, so it could give you stress because you have abandoned work, so, for example. Okay, next, I think Easy and me have covered the mental health point, so I will go to the um, physical health. Okay, so first of all, it can affect your sleeping habit, because you will be, for example, the sleep deprived, because you have messed up sleeping schedule. You don't know, when you use internet, you don't know when to stop, when to start, for example. And because of you don't have a sleeping habit, you will have a weight loss, because somehow when the sleeping schedule is important for your it just somehow it connected to your weight. So when that also happen when you have weight loss, you probably skip eating, like I said earlier, you just don't know when to stop or when to start using the internet. Okay, next, your dietary habits also affect, because and then when you dietary habits affect, you will have a lack of exercise, and then you will get a weak of immune. Okay, so that is my point.
I would like to address the dietary habit. I'm sorry, I failed to see the connection there. But I would like to add on from what Dia has mentioned. It's now disruptive sleep schedule, increased psychological issues, and let's say the distraction from work. Those are really true, and I would like to add on the distraction part in that our sleep habits, our sleep schedule is also interrupted, very much so. I believe every one of us has had at one point, at some point, stayed up late, browsing through internet and social media because they are very addictive. I and also um, a lot of exposure towards other people's lifestyle, other people's how do I say these possessions. For example, on Instagram, we see people being happy, going to places and buying new things. It also affects our psychological issues in that it makes us crave for things that we sometimes can't afford or can't afford too much. It also increases depression, as Mr. Easy has mentioned before, as well as other psychological issues, anxiety. Why am I not like them? Why am I like this? I may be, like something. So it makes people, crave to be something that they are not. That's also one major issue that drives more people our age to, to make bad choices in finance, for example, in order to look trendy. Furthermore, um, to access internet, we need devices, smartphones, laptops, tablets, whatever it is. These devices also increase the risk of us sitting in an undesirable body postures, crouching down, slouching, and stuff like that. They affect our body. Body postures are very important, especially the spine. If we tend to, slouch too much or walk in a crouching posture, it will affect our spine a lot. And as we grow older, many we are at risk of various health issues in a later date. Okay, I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Hello. So I would like to continue our discussion. So, but I kindly disagree with Easy that said internet has more negative effect than to our health than positive. So I would like to to explain why that I prefer internet is more positive and positive influence effect to our health because we can easily increase our IQ level because we can easily seek information from internet just by using our smartphone and laptop. Even though it can give us bad posture, mood depression, anything. But if we use it with a good intention, such as we don't participate in cyberbully, we don't participate in a bad comment, like TikTok. After we do a streaming and you get a bad comments and anything. But actually, if you have a good intention in participating in using internet, so you can get a better IQ, first a better IQ, and you can about the wait about the health issue, you can control them actually. If you have mature enough, you can control it. And we also in this pandemic era, you can help to help the government to not spread the virus actually, right? So we can continue our lesson, we can continue our daily routine without interrupting other life. That's all because I have a different perspective about the internet.
Okay. Assalamualaikum. So, first of all, I strongly disagree with Muhammad Kamaruzaman because we are talking about our health here. So I'm not sure how you having skills is related with our health. And because like you said, the information is quite excessive, especially to the minor. Okay, because it affects our health, because the pictures and the videos. Wait, I'm sorry. Okay, so but my point is it give a lot of negative impact more to your health more than positive impact. Okay, I would like to add my point here. Probably you will think this is a myth. How excessive use or can affect your vision. Okay, because according to research by everydayhealth.org, uh, we spend averagely 9 hours per day in front of cell phone, tablet, computer, or television screens. Okay, so when we use internet, basically it's either our phone or a laptop. So all that screen time is causing eye strain and other vision problems. So yeah, that is my point, I guess.
Okay, so actually, Asma, about the vision, as we already know, technology is developing. So the developer of laptop, of anything lah, about technology and smartphone and anything else, they have provided the control, the what we say, the quality control, like UV screen, like screen saver, screen cover, screen protector. They have provided
Excuse me,
to
Taufik.
control the health issue, right?
Excuse me, Taufik.
Okay.
I
Excuse me, Taufik.
I would like to listen to Natasha's point if I may. I think she has some more points to add.
Okay, Taufik. I cannot agree with your suggestion because for all we know, all those technologies requires us to spend more on maybe screen protectors or maybe better technologies. Like not all phones have that kind of supports. So I think that I agree that with Asma's point just now that um, overuse of internet or screen time can cause eye strain. Not also that, it also can cause neck pain or shoulder pain. I have to agree with Asma that overuse of screen time um, can cause eye strain because our eyes can tend to blink less when we are staring at the blue light from the screen, which um, the which makes our eyes work harder to focus. We typically do not position the screen at the ideal distance or angle, especially when we are using our phone. We tend to use it nearer to our eyes, which can cause damage to our eyes, strain to our eyes. That's all from me.
I would like to add on.
Guys, I
A
think
lot, why a lot of us disagree with Taufik. I think um, we tend to forget smartwatches, smartbands. They are used by medical staff even to control and check our blood temperature, blood pressure, our rhythm, heartbeat, and all. I think those kind of devices, along with usage of internet, do as in certain ways help us to be more, how do I say it, to be more aware of our health if used correctly. It has a point actually. Internet can also help us to, if say we don't feel too good with our body, we can Google the syndromes. Although this is not very encouraged because if you bad on your body, just go to the doctor. But sometimes knowing the symptoms of an illness that can be Googled is, is a good thing. We know for sure that, oh, something is wrong with my body, definitely I have to go to the doctor. And my smartwatch is also pointing that my heartbeat is increasing and I don't know why, go to the doctor. Sometimes it can happen, things can happen like that. So yeah, there are certain things that I agree with that. And of course with rescue.
In conclusion, there are a lot more of negative impacts on our health rather than the positive impact to ourselves. So basically, there has not been research that proves excessive use of internet could lead a good health. So I guess that's all from us.
Okay, good job. All right, it's a good try for the first time round. Okay, and I believe that it is a little bit difficult because we are doing it online, isn't it? All right, but good try. So let's just hear it from some of your friends of what they think about the discussion itself. Okay, before I tell you on how this actually went. Okay, I'm just gonna call randomly. All right. Can I have Noor Najwa? Are you here, Noor Najwa?
Yes, madam.
So, what do you think of their discussion?
Um, I think that their discussion is kind of intense a little bit because they quite interact to each other. But I did recognize that there's a few people that do not interact with each other.
Okay, thank you, Najwa. Okay,
Okay.
I believe that Arif really wanted to speak since his mic was on for a very long time. Arif, are you here?
Yes, madam.
Okay.
Sorry, madam. My Webex is hang.
It's okay. So, yeah, you're going to be number two. What do you think of the discussion since you were part as well?
Uh, sorry, madam. I'm not focus. Webex saya hang tadi. Saya terpaksa di start phone.
Okay, all right. Okay, never mind. All right. Jackson, are you here? Jackson? Jackson Leo. Gone for lunch. Jackson, what do you think of the discussion?
I think this discussions is more to argue in the groups, and
Arguing.
then
You were more arguing,
this
okay?
is most to arguing each other lah. And then in this group is simultaneously end up with a conclusion and does not decide which one the point is most better in this discussion.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Jackson. Okay. So, we have received two feedback. One last one. Okay. We have Tengku Ain. Tengku Ain. What do you think?
Yes.
What do you think, Ain?
Well, I think that the discussion must be aggressive because it's for against one.
Louder, please.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, better.
Okay, so I think that the discussion earlier was a bit aggressive because it was for against one. And also the points that they were against was a bit weak because Taufik didn't actually give the like a support for his points.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. So apparently, after viewing, all right, I think everybody did a good job. All right, I'm not going to condemn on any particular speaker. All right, because each of them had their own ideas to represent. So that is good. I also realized that at the start of the debate, only the four speakers were dominating the ground. All right, Natasha came at the very end. So if you realize any member in the team is probably lacking off, you may want to include them. You can remember, you can throw questions like, "Hey, Natasha, what do you think of this?" All right. So that's how you get the discussion going. All right. So being aggressive in a discussion, I realized that many of the commenter from your friends mentioned that this is more like a heated argument. Well, I think that is probably because of the tone that some of you guys used. All right, but for me, it looked like a healthy discussion. It is not an issue. So let's say for some, this is something that we want to take note. So some viewers may think that it is pretty aggressive. So you want to be very careful with your tone. I realized that Alif, he had some issues and concerns that he raised too, but his tone was much more, I would say, calmer, all right, or much more saturated. So it doesn't look like as if he is going against everybody else, okay? Whereas Tafik, he is more, I would say, assertive. So when he spoke, it looks like as if he was going against the rest. But I think it is a fair discussion and everybody did a good job. And you don't want to talk so much about explanation and so on. Remember, I told you, try to give examples that would be more workable for many listeners. All right, like Asma, you were talking, right? You had so much of explanation. You were just feeding us with a lot of information. So try to give analogies, examples. All right, I realized that Alif had a little bit of example. And even Hamizi, right, you try to do something with your explanation. So try to give more examples to illustrate what your explanation is all about. But good job, everybody, okay? So I think you guys are on the right track. You should be able to work on your vlog once I release the topic. So just wait for the update. I should be releasing them by this week, right? Hopefully today, if I'm not bogged down with some other tasks. But if not, then by end of this week, you should be getting the topic. Yeah? All right. So do we have any questions before we call it off a day?
No, madam.
Okay, then thank you very much.
Madam.
Yes,
Madam.
Yes, Taufik.
Madam, I have a question, madam.
Yes, Taufik.
I did not receive the book yet.
Where are you from,
I did not
Taufik?
receive the English book yet.
Taufik, where are you from?
I'm from, right now, I'm staying Tanjung Malim.
Hey, Taufik, you can go and collect the book from Block 5.
Block 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Taufik, you just go to...
From you or from the office?
I'm not in the office. I am in the red zone. So you can go to the office, okay. Block 5, level 3. You can go and get it from the office, the main office, or you can meet Madam Nadia if you're in Tanjung Malim.
Okay. Thank you, madam.
All right. Okay, do we have any other questions? Okay, if there's nothing else, then have a good lunch and stay safe, everybody. I will see you after the mid-sem break, right? So next week is a mid-sem break. So be safe, all right? So take care.
Yeah, bye-bye, madam. Happy Deepavali.
Thank you, Arif. Thank you, Arif. Thank you. Okay, I will see you guys next.
Thank you, madam.
Welcome. All right, take care.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Welcome.
Thank you, madam.